Hey guys, Doug B here. As you probably already know, most of the folks who have an Axe FX3 use it with their electric guitars because of the fantastic assortment of amps, cabs, and effects that are built into the unit. But the FX3 also makes an excellent platform for an acoustic electric guitar, like one that has a piezo in it. There are any number of ways to use them together. You can use the FX3 in a live setting where you might have to switch from electric to acoustic guitar for some songs. In that situation, you can send your electric guitar to out 1 and your acoustic electric to out 2 and have them go to their own channels on the PA board. You could also use the FX3 in a recording studio in a similar situation where it would be the interface between your electric and acoustic electric guitars and the recording console. Now, of course, you can try your acoustic electric with any of the factory presets that are built into the FX3. Now, those presets are made really for electric guitars, but hey, don't let that stop you. Now, if your acoustic electric has onboard EQ, you can make a simple preset on the FX3 just using an in block and an out block. You can take that a step further by adding either a parametric EQ or a graphic EQ to tailor your sound. And you can also expand upon that by using acoustic guitar IRs from third-party creators. You can also sweeten the tone by adding like a comp block, chorus block, delay, reverb. Any of those will help to sweeten the tone. So let's listen to an example of an acoustic electric going through the FX3. So I'm using the Paul Reed Smith SE Hollow Body 2 with piezo for this video. It has a piezo system that was designed with LR bags in conjunction with Paul Reed Smith. It's only been out for a year or so it's still a fairly new system. Now my other acoustic electric guitar is this Rainsong WS-1000. Actually, it's my wife's, but I'm borrowing it for a while. The WS-1000 is equipped with the Fishman blender system, which has a saddle pickup and an internal mic. Now, I was going to use this guitar for this video because technically it's more flexible than the PRS, but it is also very, very finicky and the electronics are over 20 years old, so I opted to go with the Paul Reed Smith. So let's open up Axe Edit and make some easy presets for the acoustic electric guitars. My first preset, Piezo 1, is a bare bones DI. All it contains is an in block and an out block, but it really doesn't sound very good in this situation as the Paul Reed Smith has no tone shaping control for the piezo. So you get a very wide soundscape with a definite thunk in the low end, pretty much making it unusable. Here, check it out. Yeah, let's move on. The second preset, Piezo 2, adds more processing with the addition of a comp block, graphic EQ block, and a reverb block. Now the comp block is using the Studio FB1 compressor with the default settings. Graphic EQ has the 31 and 63 Hz bands rolled all the way off to get rid of the thunk. Then 125, 250, 500, 1K and 2K are all rolled off a little bit to get rid of the woofiness. 4K is at default, and 8K and 16K have a slight bump for just a little bit of sparkle. The reverb block is using the wide hall type, and the mix is at 15.3%. Let's listen to this preset. Now this preset makes for a decent sound. Well, you could also add a chorus block, heck, even a delay block, but it still sounds like a piezo. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what if you want to get closer to the sound of an actual acoustic guitar? Let's take a look at my third preset, Piezo 3. It looks almost the same as Piezo 2, but it has three other blocks. The looper block, the cab block, and our good friend the RTA block. Let me tell you why I added those three blocks. I added the looper block because it makes it easier to work with the other blocks without having to handle the guitar at the same time. You play a little riff or some chords while recording with the looper. Then you can put your guitar away and play the riff using the looper while you work on the cab block. This is where you're going to spend the greatest amount of time. Now the cab block processes IRs or impulse responses. The FX3 comes with cab IRs, but there are other types, including acoustic guitar IRs that you can load into your user banks. Now this is a major game changer. There are numerous companies that provide acoustic IRs. The ones that I'm using come from 3 Sigma Audio. I'll put a link in the description. They create plugins, impulses, presets, and other software. 3 Sigma has numerous impulse categories: cab impulses, acoustic impulses, electric impulses, and reverbs. Under acoustic impulses, they have acoustic guitars, bass guitars, classical guitars, mandolins, violins and cellos, ukuleles, and upright basses. They have IRs for 16 different acoustic guitars: Gibsons, Martins, Guilds, Taylors, and Takamine. They have numerous Gibson and 2 types of Martin D45. I chose Gibbs 50 Vintage, which is based on a 1954 Gibson J50. I also chose Mart 45, which is based on a Martin D45. Now I chose those two specifically. Around 5 to 10 years ago, I tried out a 1956 J5 at Carter's Vintage in Nashville, and man, I fell in love but could not justify the price tag. That guitar has haunted me ever since. One of those that got away. I have not played any acoustic since that had that sound. As for the Martin, that was the one that my wife has always wanted but also couldn't justify the price tag. Now I'm not saying that buying these IRs is like instantly having the guitar of your dreams, but for 15 bucks you'll find a sound that should make you smile. Yeah, each set of IRs goes for $15. Now the actual Gibson J50 was over $3,000, and that Martin D45 goes for around $10,000. Only you can decide which is the better choice for your budget. When you purchase an IR set from 3 Sigma, you download a zip file from their website. When you unzip it, you get a folder with 13 different subfolders, each for a different kind of guitar or miking system. Now when you click on one of these folders, for example the piezo folder, you get 4 more folders, all for different sample rates. Now the AXFX3 is at 48K, so let's click on that folder. And when you do that, you get 75 different wave files that you can load into the cab block, and you can try to see which one of them you like the best. Now that's the work, testing out these different IRs. Now I was lucky with the Gibson IRs because the third IR I tried had the sound I was looking for. I'll try the others to see if there are any that are better, but I really like this one. Now getting back to the preset here in AxEdit, let's take a look at the graphic EQ block. As you can see, for the most part, the graphic EQ block is flat, except for this big bump at 8K. I would experiment with the EQ flat first and then go from there. Now I use the RTA block to see if the frequencies are balanced at the end of the chain. It does take some time to dial it in, but with a little bit of luck, you get to have a really good sounding acoustic tone. Now, like I'm saying, it's not like it sounds exactly like that guitar, but it gets you a lot better sounding than just the piezo for sure. Now I still have to go through the Martin IRs. Let me know if you're interested and I'll do another video showing the process I went through with that set of IRs. But for right now, I'm going to play something. We'll see how this preset sounds. Some of you might recognize this one. Feel free to sing. It's a fun song. So there you have it, guys. You can have a whole lot of fun with an Acoustic-Electric in your FX3. And by using acoustic guitar IRs, you can come close to the sound of world-class guitars without breaking the bank. Now, I'll leave a link for 3 Sigma in the description. I'll leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this, or if you've tried something similar. Do you have your own acoustic guitar preset that you'd like to share? Let me know. All right, guys, next Wednesday, I'll be looking at an all-new preset of the week. Now, you don't want to miss that, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. All right, guys, see you next week.